everyone has a home field advantage. Brought to you by Great Southern Bank. Great Southern Bank with more than 100 locations in 6 states. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. Member FDIC. Also presented by Luna, Labor's Local 663. And we go to Webb City, Missouri, home of the Cardinals, and head football coach Ryan McFarland. Coach McFarland, thanks so much for your time today.
Hey, no problem. Glad for you, or appreciate you having me on today.
Coach, before we talk about the upcoming semifinal matchup, kind of take us back to last Friday night with Grain Valley, a 49-35 victory. Tell us about that contest.
Yeah, we played a Grain Valley school out of Kansas City that Webb City had never played before, so we weren't real familiar with them. But just scouting them and watching them on film, we knew they were going to be, a really athletic, physical football team. They had a running back who, going into the game, had 2,400 yards rushing on the season, and a quarterback that had thrown for around 1,800 yards. He had 19 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. So we knew offensively we were going to have our hands full, and defensively, watching them, they had started a senior at every position on defense, and they were a real physical group, and really remind us of a COC school. And they, our comparisons to them, we're comparing them, to a Nixa and a Republic, and we felt like if they were in our conference this year, they would have been one of the top, 3 or 4 teams in the conference and had a chance to compete in the COC. So we knew we'd have our hands full, and we did. And they played extremely well. And I told our kids before the game that the whichever group could fight adversity the best, and continue to fight adversity, would have a great chance to win. And I felt like our kids did that, and we made just enough plays to be successful and to win the game. But hats off to Grain Valley and their coaching staff, because they have a phenomenal group of kids, and their coaches do a great job, and you can tell they're well coached.
Coach, you mentioned the COC, and looking across and talking to coaches throughout the COC, and we host the quarterback club every Monday there in Springfield, Missouri. We've got COC schools coming in with Nixon, Ozark, and Willard being a part of that as well, and Republic. Just talking about how much better even the teams that kind of at the bottom, so to speak, of the COC. I mean, you're talking about a Branson team and a Willard team that both won 5 games this year. How does that prepare you as you're going? Obviously, it prepares you well because you got 2 COC teams playing in the semifinal. But talk about that conference and how the preparation is.
Yeah, there's and especially I think this year more than maybe in years past, there's not a bad team in the league. And if you look at records, and I think maybe Neosho and Ozark, had the least amount of wins this year. But if you put them in a lot of conferences across the state, those teams would have a much better record. And that's it's a grind throughout the season, because week in and week out, I mean, you're constantly just trying to figure out a way to score one more point to win a football game. But then you get to districts, and our first district game where we got to play another opponent, we played Belton, and it was kind of nice to play someone that's not familiar with you. But from a X and O standpoint and a physical playing on the field standpoint, we felt really good going in the Belton game that we were going to be the more physical football team, and we were the more tested football team. And that's what this conference does for you. But just a lot of great coaching staffs and a lot of great athletes in this conference. And, it's a grind. And I don't think, people, even maybe spectators in the conference, understand how much of a grind, because they see these schools week in and week out. But it's a phenomenal conference, and it's such a grind throughout the season, and you just try to make it through healthy at the end, so you've got a chance. And I guess fortunately for us, we had a lot of injuries early in the year, but by the time we got to the end, we got some of those guys back, and we're pretty healthy right now.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Outside of 13 games in, you're going to have bumps and bruises just because it's football. But so you're relatively healthy now going into this Republic contest.
Yeah, we lost. We've got one injury right now, and Brecken Gallardo, who was our leading rusher from last year, he tore his ACL against Republic week 3, and so he's been done for the year since then. But Amari Jackson, our other starting running back, he suffered a shoulder injury against Republic week 3, and he made it back week 11 for our Belton game. So we missed about 8 weeks in there with a shoulder injury. And I mean, he's played 3 games now. He's, I don't know, averaging a little over 11 yards a carry. He's played really well, and he's really, our offense has kind of really scored more points the last 3 weeks, and he's been a big reason why. Just getting him back on the field and his playmaking ability and the speed that he brings to the table. So it's nice to have him back. But yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of kids that have bumps and bruises and they're wore down and they're tired. But as far as an injury standpoint, besides Brecken, we're all relatively healthy.
And this is a Republic team that the Cardinals have met. This will be the sixth time that they've met over the past 3 years. And obviously, even this year, it's awful hard to beat a good team twice. But when you look at where you were on week 3 compared to where you are now, what are some things you feel like you're doing really well?
We week 3 we were playing 2 quarterbacks at that time, and we were rotating a senior quarterback and a sophomore quarterback, and our quarterback's kind of taken over our quarterback role, and he's really been our big play guy, probably all year long, but especially these last few weeks. And you can tell with him the game's slowing down for him a little bit, and he's able to make more plays, and he's processing information quicker, and he's really done a good job, and he's a special player for us. But I would say that's the biggest thing offensively between now and then is just, we've got more experience. We've started 6 different running backs this year due to injuries. We've got 5 of those guys healthy now. Our offensive line, we knew coming in the year, both our tight ends are seniors. We started 4 senior offensive linemen. So of our 7 guys up front, 6 of them are seniors that have played before. And we knew we were going to have to lean on them, and they've played well all year, but they seem to get better and better each week. So, just the experience factor and the fact that we are healthy is probably the biggest difference. And defensively, I feel like our defense has played well all year. And, that's, they gave up a lot of points the other night, but that was to a really good offensive team. But you take out the other night, the last outings, they've played really well and held, Carthage at 7 points, and they shut out Branson the last regular season game. So a lot of good things going on. But the biggest thing is just they've grinded throughout the season. They've done everything we ask, as players, and they've gotten just a little bit better each week. And we keep telling them, if you just keep getting a little bit better, who knows what can happen. And we're in the semifinals, and we're excited about the chance to play.
And you've got Republic coming up, at 4:00 on Saturday when I check Scoreboard Guy or the Missouri Sports Network, and Webb City's won this game. What are some particular areas statistically that you're going to be able to point at and say this is why we won? Whether it's ball control, turnovers, penalties. What are you going to point at and say this is why we won this game?
Yeah, you're talking about a Republic team that's defensively playing really well right now, and offensively they've played well all year. And I think first down on both sides of the ball is going to be really important. And they've Republic's kind of gotten to a offensive philosophy where they kind of want to grind out first downs, and then they'll hit you with a big play. But so on first down, we can't let them get their 4, 5, 6 yards, and have 2nd and 4 is not a good place for us to be on defense. So we need to stop them on first down and keep them in a 2nd and long situation where maybe it's 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 10, and that's easier said than done. And then offensively, it's kind of the opposite. We've got to win first down, and we've got to be the team that gets the 2nd and 5 situation, so that we're not sitting there at 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10, and behind the change, and then trying to come up with a big play to get a first down. And I think the game's gonna be really fast. I don't foresee a lot of passes being thrown, so every snap, every possession is gonna be very important in the outcome of the game. And so when we're on offense, we got to be able to score points, and defensively, we got to be able to come up with a stop. And everyone talks about the Republic and their onside kicks, and they recovered 2 against Elias on Saturday. And if you go back to the district semifinal game last year, they recovered 2 onside kicks against us that really turned the momentum in the game into their favor. And so besides first down, I would just say special teams, and we got to win the special teams battle if we want a chance to win on Saturday. And we can't let them have success with onside kicks and any other trickery they might try to use on special teams.
Coach, what are your plans between now and Saturday at 1:00? How many times are you going to be able to get them on the field? And I know you guys, Webb City's used to this. I mean, since 2010, you're 177-17 with 8 state titles, so you're used to practice. And what what does it look like here going forward here until Saturday?
Luckily we're out of school all week this week, and so we didn't have to go to school. So we've been able to bring the boys in the morning. So we're going about 8 to 10:30 or 8 to 11, and tomorrow morning we'll bring them in at 8. We'll do a team stretch. We'll get them in the weight room for about an hour, and then we'll go out the practice field and get in about an hour and 45-minute practice. And the key, I think, this time of year is try to make things as routine as possible, and not try to make anything too big of a deal or outside of the norm. And so we try to treat it like a regular game week, to the best of our ability, and we don't change a lot of things up at practice. And we've really stuck to the same routine throughout the season and throughout districts and into the playoffs last week. So that's just kind of our plan. And Thanksgiving morning we'll bring them in for about a 2-hour practice early in the morning, and then we'll let them leave about 10:30 on Thursday, and then Friday we're not bringing them back in until 3:00. So we want to give them a little over a day off right there, to where if they need to travel a little bit, they can, and they can kind of relax and enjoy Thanksgiving and time with their family. And bring them back Friday at 3, because that would be a normal practice time for us, and we'll have our team dinner Friday night. Then obviously we're not used to playing on Saturdays, but we've played on a handful of Saturdays in the past, so Saturday will be a little different. But we'll try to leave at similar times and arrive at similar times, so it's like a regular game. But I think the more normal you can make it, the easier it is for our players to adjust.
Outstanding. Well, you're listening to High School Game Day here on the Missouri Sports Network as we visit with Ryan McFarland, the head football coach at Webb City. And, Coach, it's Thanksgiving week. It's the holiday week, I should say, as the holiday season begins. And, looking forward to Thanksgiving, as everyone does. What's kind of your go-to Thanksgiving dish, something maybe you're going to cut in line to make sure you get enough of?
I would probably have to say green bean casserole. My wife makes it, and it's one of my favorite things that she makes. So that's probably the thing that I'll cut in line for. But just there's nothing better than Thanksgiving Day turkey, especially leftover turkey. So I'm trying to make sure I get some extra turkey to take home with me at the end.
And I'm pretty sure that's the same exact answer that Coach Cornelison gave me from Republic earlier today, was the green bean casserole. But, Coach, what are some things right now the McFarland family has to be thankful for as we head into this time of Thanksgiving?
First I got a wife that, she lets me coach and spend a lot of time away from our family. So I'm appreciative, of that for her. And we've got 4 daughters, and our oldest is a 16-year-old that just started driving. And we've got a 5th grade daughter, a 3rd grade daughter, and we've got a 3-year-old daughter. So we have kids all over the place all the time. And I'm thankful for them. I'm thankful that they don't hold the time I spend away from them, against me, because they know that it's really important to our family. And I think they enjoy being the coach's daughters and coming to team meals and stuff with us. And just thankful for, the position that I'm in, and the Webb City administration allowing me to have this opportunity to be the head coach of this football program. And the last thing is, our faith is really important to us. And so, just all the things that God has provided us and done for us, and how he looks over us and keeps us safe. And, have a lot to be thankful for, and just very appreciative of a lot of things.
Very good. Well, Coach McFarland, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time here on the Missouri Sports Network. Good luck, safe travels, and stay healthy.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
You bet. You're watching and listening to the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where, as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.